All right, now we got the bottom off. Let's pull the top off. So when we do the top, we got to do the headrest off. We got to take this piece off and then start to undo the clips here. Another difference on the top is that they can have between the different models, and even with the same model, they have options for the lumbar. So lumbar knob. So you could have, this is the driver's seat, so sometimes you could have a lumbar knob on the side. That knob just pops right off. There's no clips or retainer clips or screws or anything like that in there. It literally just comes right off the side. And then when they pull the new cover on, we won't have holes pre-cut for the side. So if you have the lumbar adjustment on yours, pull the cover completely on, make your trim cut on the side, then you can pop the lumbar knob back on the side. It just snaps back on. It's real easy to do. So let's get to the headrest. These are going to pull straight up. They don't slide real easy, but they come out. This one. So there's one side has a button, the other side doesn't have anything on it. So I'm going to push in, push this sucker up. There we go. So there we go. Perfect. So that's off. We're going to unclip the cover, start rolling it up. There's a easier way to get to there's a couple little places on the inside you got to pinch at the bottom of these tubes to get these to come out of the frame. But when we have the cover off, covered, rolled inside out and taken it off, we can get to it really easy from the back. Instead of needing those pliers, pinch it, they pull right out. So the back side, we got, come around and show you a little better. We'll use our flathead or pry tool for this part. So here's our clips going across the back. These black clips, they just hook to each other. They just clasp to one another. So we got to get in there and pry those apart. So I'll take a little pry tool inside. I'm going to pry this guy back. And these guys clasp pretty good. So you can see how this is just formed into like a little U-channel kind of thing. Other clips the same way. They just lock in. They just interlock to one another. So we're separating those apart. Okay, so those are free. A couple little pieces of the material that are stuck up in there like that. This one's there, this out. Then this is going to push through to the front. Okay, now that's pushed through. We'll start to separate the face of that cover from the foam as well. Now I'm going to use my recline lever to recline this thing back some, because it's a little bit easier to be able to get your hand underneath there to work on it when it's reclined back. So I'm not going to screw it on. I'm just going to stick it on there. There we go. Recline it back. So now we can go up underneath between the cover and the foam. This is going to have Velcro on all these channels. The Velcro across here. Laramie's have a Velcro on the horizontal, but this one's just got the two vertical. So we're going to go up underneath here. What you don't want to do is rip the Velcro off the foam. Bottom's not that big of a deal. You should be getting a new Durafoam anyway, so all the new Velcro's going to be anchored on there. But the top foam usually doesn't need to be replaced. You can definitely use the old one, but you don't want to yank the Velcro off. So I use one hand, a couple fingers holding the Velcro down, and then kind of use my other fingers to kind of separate the cover from the Velcro, from the strip that's in the foam. If it does rip up, it's not the end of the world. Just get some spray adhesive. Contact, 3M makes a good spray adhesive. DAP, D-A-P, Delta, Apple, Papa. DAP makes a spray called Weldwood. It's their contact adhesive. They got them at Lowe's and Home Depot in the paint section. It's like 10 or 13 bucks or something like that for a rattle can. Spray that down, get those glued, let the glue sit up real well, and it'll work. So if if the Velcro strips that are embedded in the foam come undone, not the end of the world, but try to hold it down in there while you're pulling the cover off, so you don't have to mess the glue in it. So now the front face is unvelcroed. We're going to start rolling the corners up. Both sides. We're going to we really want to try to turn it inside out like that, especially on the back. So do that. We'll do this side. So you can see on the back where it's all bunching up like this, you want to make sure to roll that material down so it's like that, so it's coming inside out. And then just keep working each side up a little bit at a time. Okay, there we go. Now, recline knob. All right, next tool. So it's a really high skill tool here. Needle nose pliers. All right, now headrest tubes. So we got our 2 tubes, plastic tubes that come to our guide rails for our headrest. At the very bottom, there's 2 little clips that when you push, when the tube goes down, there's 2 little clips that both pop out and lock it into the metal tube that's welded into the frame. So if we take our needle nose and we pinch both sides of the plastic tube, those little catches will push in. You can pull the tube right out the top. So these are kind of beat down because we've taken this thing apart 100 times, but let me show you what those clips look like. So right here, you see that guy you can push in? And there's another one on the other side. Just flipped around to the other side there. You see that pushes in. So if you take your needle nose, you can pinch those at the same time. You can pull up from the top. If it doesn't just slide out from, like this one's starting to come out, it doesn't take much but for the tube to go up where you don't have to hold those catches anymore. If it doesn't come up, you can take your needle nose, pinch your both sides there. You can take the back of a screwdriver and hit it, or take a little hammer and tap the bottom of that just to get it started. These things have come, we've taken this apart a couple times. So if yours have been in there for 15 years and they're not budging, just pinch those in, tap with a little hammer, tap at the back of a screwdriver, something like that, and get them up, and then they'll just pull straight out the top. So there's 2. This is a little bit different than Dodge. Let me grab the headrest and show you too. All right. Here's a headrest. There's notches on one pole. You have 3 notches there. The other pole doesn't have any notches. It's smooth all the way down. Okay, so this is the side towards the door. This is the driver's seat. This is the pole towards the door. That's going to get the tube that has the button on it. Button's got the catch. Let's see which side. Okay, the notches are on the inside, and you can see on here, you can see the catch on the inside. When I push it, see the catch? That catch goes into those notches. So when we're putting this all back together, that button's going to face the door. That'll slide in there. So then when we put this sucker in there, that catch will catch on those notches. This side, which is odd, every other manufacturer usually has a catch on this too, but without a button. But there's no catch in this tube at all, so, and there's no notches on this side. So this will just slide in either way. It doesn't matter which way it's swiveled. That just drops in. But when you're putting this one in, make sure the button is towards the door, because the catch is on the right side and the notches are on the right side or inside of the headrest. That way you know which way to put these on. Because chances are you're going to forget it by the time you get the new cover pulled on and you're not sure which way to go and all that jazz. So, okay, top foam. Top foam usually doesn't need to be replaced unless something really crazy happened to it. I don't even know if Dodge carries them anymore. You might be able to get them, you might not, but if not, it's not that big of a deal. The tops don't get nearly the compression and the wear and tear of getting in and out like the bottom does. But you definitely want to steam the foam out before you put the new cover on. I've steamed this one out. Steam will help puff the foam back up and swell it out back up to the size it was when it came new. You want it to be the same, the dimensions, everything to be the same, everything puffed back up like it was originally. So when you put the new cover on, all the seams will line up and lay where they're supposed to lay on the foam. And it's not like you steam it and all of a sudden it's a brand new foam again. It can break down and start to compress again, but it's going to be compressing at the same rate when the cover's on it and everything on there. As long as it's fit on there correctly and all the seams are laying on the right spot, it makes a big difference. And if you put the new cover on without it seamed out, there's a lot higher chance of it being baggy or loose. Other places where you got to pull it back off, add extra foam to the front face of it or whatever the heck. So grab a steamer, just a garment steamer. You don't need anything crazy. Go to Walmart, pick up one for 30 bucks, steam out your foam. You're going to want the steam at the end anyway when you put the new cover on to go over it, to smooth it out and make it real nice, make the fit and finish just perfect on it. But that's the disassembly. That's taking the top off, bottom off, everything. How to prep the foam for the top, steam that sucker out. If you ripped any Velcro off, glue that back in, let it set up real well before you put the new top on. The covers we're working on today are going to be the ST model, the cloth STs, but they all install the same. The Laramie, the ST, SLT, they're all going to go on the same. There's a couple little things that can be different throughout it that I'll kind of go over as we go, as we're going through the video, but we're going to start with this one. So we got the seat stripped down. We're going to start with the seat top cover first. So there's really no frills to it, man. There's going to be Velcro running vertical. Got the cover. We're going to roll it down onto the frame. So there's going to be two little holes cut at the top for the headrest to go through. So we're going to flip this inside out. Okay. All right, now to do the top, you want to be standing over the seat so you can look down over it and roll it down on. And with those two little holes that are already cut for the headrest, you can really line it up pretty easy because you can see the tubes in the top where the headrest goes. So I'm going to move this to the middle here, hop up top, and I'm going to start rolling this on. So this is pretty simple. There's only two Velcro strips that run vertical. So, but we'll attach the Velcro at the end after we got the cover pulled on. So with it inside out, we're going to look down through the cover and look through the holes of that headrest to make sure make sure those are lined up. With that lined up, then stick your hands on the inside and start to kind of roll over the sides. Once you got it down a little bit, look over the top and make sure it's not sitting, turned one way or the other. You can look down through and see if it's straight. And also make sure if you got to move it anywhere, make sure when you look through the two holes in the headrest holes that you can still see the just black underneath where the empty space where the headrest tubes go. So it looks pretty straight. So then we'll start working each side down a little bit. Go a couple inches down on each side. Then go to the other side, just work it down. Okay. All right, so now we're on. We know we're relatively straight. We'll make sure we're dialed in straight now that we're down here when you're face eye level with it. So with it on, I'm just going to visually look at it and make sure it's not sitting, real cattywampus any direction. Looks pretty good there. So I usually have my recline lever handy because to set the Velcro, and so if you got to get your hand up underneath to work on it, it's going to be a whole lot easier if you can recline it back. You don't need to screw it on, just have it handy to do. Let me flip this around. So I'm gonna, let's see here. Incline it back a little bit. There we go. And then I'm gonna set it back on its back here. Okay, let's see. So now, okay. There is this top seam that's here, this very top one here. There's an indentation in the foam that this seam sits down into. So I want to feel up underneath to make sure that this seam is riding in that indentation. If it's not in that indentation, then it's going to puff out it's going to puff forward on you. So this is why having it reclined makes it a lot easier. You can get up underneath here. Yeah, it's pretty much on there. Okay, so now I can feel the foam underneath here with my left hand. Make sure that this seam is sitting in that groove. And I'm going to set my Velcro, these Velcros here first. So that's good. Okay, now I'm going to pull the foam in to kind of collapse it, give me some slack. Then I can push down on the seam here for the Velcro to attach in the foam. Same thing here. Make sure my seam's in that groove. Yep. And then collapse in like that. Okay, so now I got these two Velcro set. We got to set the rest of that now. I will set it here. Okay, so now I'm lined up straight behind it. I can look down it. I'm just going to run my hand down that seam, push in on the left side to collapse the foam in to give you some slack, and then push down on that seam and work your way kind of front to back, up and down that. Make sure that's set. There we go. And we'll do the other side here. Okay. Now you'll definitely know if it's set because you're going to have that nice hard contour that rolls over, and you can see where it's set there. So you'll be able to see that good contour. If the Velcro's not there, you'll see a piece rising up, and it's going to be, baggy. It's going to be like a trampoline. You can push in on it, So everything here, you can feel it's right tied up on the foam. Okay, so now we got our front face set. I'm going to take the J-clip that's at the bottom here. We got to stuff it underneath. So I'm going to roll it. And this one, I'm going to take my pry tool, wherever it is, here it is. And I can use it to catch the edge of that clip to help me push it through. Let's see. I'm going to de-recline this rig. There we go. Okay, so that's through. There's not just a ton of slack, so it's not going to come through, real far on the back, but the clip will be all the way underneath. So you got these other little tails. You got this little guy that's hanging through, and these need to push down through as well, just like the clip. Those will go underneath. Those will tuck up underneath the back in a minute. Now, I'm going to flip up here. Okay, so we've got this tail, and these other two long ones. They're just going to go up underneath here. This guy is going to go through here, and basically this is covering up the foam here. So this goes through, it'll tuck up underneath that, and then this clip's going to roll and hook onto the one we just pushed through from the front. So this goes there. Now getting this back clip is kind of tricky because there's not a lot of slack from the front. It's pretty tight. I'm going to use this pry tool to help me to get it so I can come underneath here and I can grab the front edge to kind of give me some leverage to pull it forward. Let's see, let me get this stuff out of the way. There we go. Okay, that's up. All right, now we'll start working our J-clip. And to get some extra slack, you can grab the back here and pull it forward, pull it down, pull it towards you so it's stretching down, and that way you can get a hand on that clip. Then we're going to grab the front clip and stretch it. Let's see if I can get one edge to catch. There we go, that's there. Dang it, had it. you'll hear it snap typically. There we go. So that's clipped. Now we're going to flip it. Look at the front. We'll look at it straight on. That's all looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're looking good. If you need to adjust it, if you look at it and one side's crooked or whatever, you can undo the Velcro, twist it whichever way you need to, reset the Velcro. You'll be good to go on that. So there's the top is on. That's clipped. Now some models have a lumbar knob on the side of your seat. So this is a driver's seat. So the driver's side would have a lumbar knob on the side. That knob just pops off. There's not a bunch of screws or anything to it. That knob will just literally pull off. And the new cover, the side panel will be solid. It won't have a cutout for it. So you need to make just a round circle cut to expose the lumbar knob so that you can take the lumbar wheel and snap it back into place. But it pops off just with a pry tool, or you can just grab it with your hands, yank it off, and that's how it pops off. But that's one thing that you may have to trim on yours. If you have the lumbar knob, all the models have options with and without it. So if yours has it, you'll just know that it's not going to have a pre-cut hole. You pop that knob off, put the new cover on, trim out the cover, and then you can pop the knob back in place. So we'll get our, our headrest tubes. We'll grab our headrest to see which side. So in the headrest tubes, there's one side that has the button that pushes in, and there's one side that doesn't have anything on it, but there's no catches on the inside of it. So on your headrest, there's only one pole that has notches in on it. The other side is solid. So when this headrest is on, the notches are on this pole. So the left pole, or pole towards the driver to the door, needs to have the pole with the push button on it. So these will just drop down in. Let's see if I need to make, no, I actually don't have to cut it anymore. This will push. Let's see if I might have to trim it a little bit. Let's see. See if I can stretch it around it. Here we go. Okay. So that in. Other tube. Slide straight in. We get a little pick on. So you can cut the holes a little bit bigger on the top if you wanted to, but I'm going to take a little 90-degree pick and go through right through here where I can grab the material and kind of help stretch it around the post. Should be able to get with this. If not, I'll go ahead and trim it out a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. So now you can see that the material is all the way up right under the rim of the headrest post. And then take our headrest, slide it back in. There we go. Headrest is in. So that's pretty much the top. Tops are pretty straightforward. Like I said, the only variable is going to be if it's got the lumbar knob on the side. The leather, if you have a Laramie, there's a Velcro that goes horizontal in it. You know, that groove I was feeling for earlier for this seam to lay in. The leather ones have Velcro in that groove. The base model STs, SLTs, and the ST all vinyl ones, base model vinyl work truck, there's not going to be a vertical, the horizontal seam's not going to have Velcro in it, but there will be that indentation in the foam. Same indentation on the leather ones, but that indentation will have Velcro in it. So you'll just push down and set that channel. That's about all there is to it. If you have a steamer, especially if you have leather seats, you're going to want to steam over the surface of the whole cover after you get it on. It really heats it up, gets it nice and supple, and helps you kind of massage it into place real well. The cloth, this one's, especially on a new Durafoam, is really nice and tight. I don't have any ripples or folds or creases or anything like that in there. But on the vinyl or on the leather seats and the vinyl, if you got any kind of folds or creasing or anything like that needs to be smoothed out, the steam is really going to help you do that. So take a steamer, just a regular garment steamer, steam that out. You can stretch it around, make sure everything's nice and smooth. This cloth forms pretty easy, a little bit easier than than leather does. So there's really nothing I need to adjust with steam on it. But every leather install I do, I heat it with steam afterwards, dry it up with a rag afterwards. You'll be good to go. So Dodge Ram, 6 to 8, 1500, 6 to 9 on the 25 and 3500s. ST, SLT, Laramie, we got it all. Get you a new Durafoam, get you new covers, match the factory original. If your bottom's messed up, get a bottom and top are messed up, get both. It'll all match with the rest of your interior. All of our stuff matches original. Just give us your VIN number. We'll get you hooked up, man. Go to thecshop.com. The website is just painfully easy to go through all the steps to pick out your right interior and the right pieces you need for it. You can put your VIN number in at checkout. We'll verify everything on the order before it ships out. If we got any questions about your order, we'll call you. But man, we make it really easy, really straightforward. If you got any questions, give us a call, 214-710-2565. If you like the video, help us out, man. Like it. Follow us on all the social media channels. We put out all kinds of videos, not just install videos, but all kinds of stuff out there, man. Appreciate you watching, guys. Thanks.